All right, like I said, I'm back. Here we go again. So now the EKG practice. So what we have here is an EKG with something going on. All right, you have these different conditions. You're probably like, what the heck is sinus tachycardia? I don't know. Anyway, so you have all these different conditions that you could, if you find this really interesting, you can go in, you can do some research. Well, what does this really mean? How does this, affect a patient or an individual who has tachycardia? I'll tell you right now, I know tachycardia means you have an accelerated heart rate. Your heart's beating at an irregularly fast pace. Okay, you see that, do-do, 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 do-do. Oh, shoot, something happened right here. Uh-oh, that can't be good. All right, so anyway, so you're probably wondering, how do I find out what this stuff is? If you go back to this wonderful site right now, that's giving me all this weirdness, you can go up here to, I'm going to hit forward of it. Yeah, there we go. You go up to EKG, and you go down to the reference guide, all right? The reference guide has all of those different situations here, what's going on. Oh, no. All right, it's like a reference guide, and all you're really doing is matching this to these. And if you really have interest about how you know it is, if you read in the reference guide, it will tell you how to, what each of these things are, like bradycardia versus tachycardia. Bradycardia is actually like a slower heart rate than normal. So you got your bradycardia here. Oh gosh, this thing's driving me nuts. And then you can go through and you can identify. But again, if you have more interest, it'll tell you more about it. It will tell you more about it. Hopefully without that pop-up coming up every single time. That's the first this has ever done this. I have no clue why. I feel like I need to do something. But anyway, use that to help you figure out what these are, okay? And then just your way of checking with me that you actually went through. What I did was I created that Google form, which is in our Google Classroom. Like it says right there, find your Google Classroom. So I go to here. Oh, hang on a second. I got to pop my Classroom. Boop, boop. Google Classroom. Anatomy. And then right down here, you have your assignments. It's in the classwork section here. EKG practice form. So this is where I've been getting a lot of questions from people. What the heck? This says question 1, question 2, but there's no question. My fault. I probably should have been a little more specific. My brain was ahead of me here. This means the answer. What answer did you get to question 1 on your practice? So if you go back to your question 1 on your practice, this is option 1, sinus tachycardia. This is option 2, premature junctional complex. Option 3 is sinus arrest. So which one do you believe it would be for question 1? Same thing for question 2. What was your answer for question 2? Question 3, question 4, question 5, question 6, all the way up to question 10, because I give you 10 of these to practice with. So this is just my way of quickly grading it without you guys having to take a picture and setting this thing into me. All right, so I hope that helps, take you through how to make this thing work for this first week. We're working on this together. Okay, we're going to work on this together. We're going to work our way through, just give you a little glimpse at what we're doing next week, especially if this stuff's floating your boat. We're going to have some future cardiologists out there. Okay, I know we're going to have a few. We're going to be talking about various heart conditions where, you might have heard of, obviously you've heard of like a heart attack and stuff like that, but I forget what some of the other ones that we were going to talk about. Anyway, there's a variety of conditions of the heart, and once you have an understanding of how the heart beats and the EKG and what's going on with the flow of the blood, the conditions start to make more sense. So when you hear about a basketball player that suddenly dropped, unfortunately, dead on the basketball court, which I know, unfortunately, I think that's happened to the LVC in recent past, which is a real big bummer. But you'll have more of an idea of what happened and why that occurred. Okay, so that's a little thing to look forward here for next week. We got that. What else do we have going next week? Let's see here. Then we're going to actually start talking about the respiratory system and how it connects to the heart, because that's where we can start talking about a little bit more detail with some understanding of this whole COVID-19 situation. All right, guys. Hope this helps. I'll catch you later.